All right, welcome back to Politically Homeless. It's Dave. Hey, thanks for being here. All right, I'm going to do something I don't often do, and that's defend Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene maintained Sunday that she plans to follow through with an effort to oust House Speaker Mike Johnson if he doesn't resign after the House passed a $95 billion package screwage that includes foreign aid for Ukraine. Yep. I was watching this little video here, and I'm not able to get this video to play properly here, but basically, it shows the vote on the House floor. Um, it then shows Marjorie Taylor Greene complaining on Fox News, of all places. Fox News, of course, the home of many neocon commentators and advisors and people who are trying to convince the American people that sending $95 million. Now, it went to Taiwan as well and Israel as well. $95 billion. We have sent, I believe, over 200 billion now to Ukraine. And this vote, by the way, wasn't really that close. Big round of applause comes from the Democrat side of the aisle. You expect that. Yes votes, 100 Republicans voted for this. 100. 111 voted against it. So that's pretty close. They almost had more Republicans voting for it than not voting for it. Democrats, all 210 people voted, 3 people abstained from voting. The totals 310 yes, 111 no, and 10 didn't vote, right? So that is a hyper majority of members in the House of Representatives that believe that we should send billions of dollars to foreign countries when we don't have billions of dollars to send to foreign countries. We're printing the money, which is inflating the currency, which is making interest rates go up, which is making prices at the gas pump go up and prices at the grocery store go up. So that's how this works. And a lot of people don't see this. They see, oh, we have to stand with whoever. I don't care if it's Ukraine. I don't care if it's Taiwan. I, believe it or not, don't care if it's Israel. Okay. We don't have the money to send to these countries, but we're sending money that we don't have. Marjorie Taylor Greene says this: Mike Johnson's leadership is over. He needs to do the right thing to resign and allow us to move forward in a controlled process. This is what MTG told Fox News Sunday. If he doesn't do so, he will be vacated. So she's wanting him to resign, or she will plan to move forward with a motion to vacate. Now, there are people, I spent too much time over on Twitter. I've gotten off of Twitter and gotten back on there as a completely different account because I was embedded with a lot of DeSantis people and a lot of people that I thought I had stuff in common with. Turns out that I don't. I would post things like, why are we sending billions of dollars to Ukraine? Well, we don't want Putin to get the upper hand. Okay, but you want to send Ukrainian soldiers into a meat grinder. So the more money you send to Ukraine, the more Ukrainian soldiers end up dying a violent and horrific death because you're sending money to Ukraine. Because look, whether if I don't care what your position is on Putin and Russia, they have proven to be a formidable opponent against NATO here. And if the United States isn't willing to put boots on the ground, if the UK won't put boots on the ground, if other countries aren't willing to fight alongside Ukrainian soldiers, you're not going to see any change in this. In fact, I think it might actually get worse for Ukraine. And there's basically a big Russian offensive that is probably going to take place any day now. They're just waiting for the weather to change enough in order to do what they've been wanting to do now for months. And look, our government is completely out of its mind. And for people on the left or the right, the people on the right who are still in this George W. Bush mentality that we somehow we're on such great financial footing that we need to go to war. I heard one congressman from Maine, a Democrat, who said, yeah, if we pass this budget, it's really good for the economy because it puts people to work, people who work in the military industrial complex. Those people go to work. I'm like, well, what about the rest of us? And isn't that immoral? By the way, isn't that immoral? Let's just stop before we get to the next part about, isn't it great how we're putting people to work? Isn't it completely immoral to put people to work so other people can die in a most violent and horrific way, like going through a meat grinder, because that's what's happening in Ukraine. Now, the Israel stuff, right? Look, I'm neutral. Let me put it bluntly. I'm neutral. I am not supporting one country or another. Yes, that original October 7th bloodbath thing was really, really bad. But now we've seen some estimates say 34,000 people have died in Gaza, something like 13,000 children. Oh, ceasefire, stop, no more, no more. You made your point. That was retaliation. That was more than enough retaliation. But we're sending money so they can continue, again, another meat grinder in Gaza. I don't care what you think of the ideology of the Palestinians. Yes, there's ideology that is whacked out on either side, and we're funding more war. We're funding more death. This is what America has been doing now for decades. We just fund more death. And if anybody thinks that's a good idea, I can't relate to. That's why I got off the. A lot of the DeSantis people are like, oh, well, we have to support our allies. I don't want to spend $4, $5 a gallon for gasoline. I don't want to do it. I don't want interest rates to go higher. I don't want a loaf of bread to cost $4 or $5. I really don't want that. I mean, it's very expensive. Have you been out to the grocery store? Because I do that. I go and shop and I go, okay, 3 bags of groceries should not be $84. But here we are. Here we are. And this is all because we're inflating the currency and the value of the buying power of the dollar. We don't have this money. We don't have $95 billion to give away. The money isn't coming in to make up for the trillions of dollars that we're already in debt. So kudos to Marjorie Taylor Greene. And look, is she what? An attention blank? I was going to use a word that started with a W. Sorry. That's the first thing that came to my mind. But does she look for attention? Does she crave attention? Yeah, absolutely. She likes the camera a lot. But is she wrong about this? No, she's not wrong. And is she for Trump? Is she not for Trump? Because Trump calls Mike Johnson MAGA Mike. What is Trump for? Let's be honest here. Is Trump for funding this or is he against it? Because he's for Mike Johnson, and I'm confused. This whole MAGA thing right now, where you can be for anything. You could be for abortion, you could be against abortion, right? You could still be in MAGA. And this is this is the all things to all people. Whatever you say is good. Some people at one of Trump's rallies behind him started chanting Genocide Joe, right? Genocide Joe. People going to Trump rallies, all right? This is interesting. And he turns around and he goes, well, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. But the other group of supporters, right, who think Donald Trump is like pro-Israel and, you got all these charismatic type Christians who love Donald Trump and You bless Israel and you'll be blessed. And that's the theology they believe in. By the way, I'm supposed to have Pastor Fannin on the show at some point. I've been uploading some of his videos. He's brilliant. I don't like to lift up a man. I hate, especially in the Christian church, but somebody's preaching truth and they're doing it in a way that transcends what you're hearing over 98% of Christian media, if there is such a thing as Christian media, but there's a whole industry. And somebody comes along and says, nope, that's not what the Bible says. It's just fun. But anyway, let's get back to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I believe she's going to do this. And of course, the media is branding her as this lunatic. She's insane. Um, Johnson is said, he's said to be kind of worried about a motion to vacate. He says, this is Mike Johnson. I have to do my job. We did. I've done here what I believe to be the right thing, and that is to allow the House to work its will, he told reporters Saturday. Oh, it's the will of the House. But is it the will of the people, Mike? Well, here's the thing. Yeah, people voted for 310 neoconservatives or neoliberals, and they voted for 10 cowards, and they voted for 111 Republicans who had a spine. Okay, so that's not a bad number, 111, but talk about being outnumbered. So this guy is basically saying, hey, this is the will of the people speaking here. So you have to be able to convince your fellow citizens that sending billions of dollars to Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine is not good for the American economy, despite what some Congress people tell you that it's great. It's going to provide jobs and it's good for the economy. The economy right now really sucks. So I don't think this is doing anything for the economy. All this is doing is driving the cost of goods and services higher and higher. And interest rates continue to be high. It's really difficult to buy a house right now. I think the housing market's going to collapse because interest rates are so high. And that the prices have to come down. I guess that's good, but you're going to be paying super high interest on whatever it is that you think you're going to purchase, and the payments are still going to be stupid, and the value, your equity, all that is just going to go through the floor. So anyway, getting back to this, Johnson facing backlash from hard right. So hard right. See, I consider myself kind of libertarian, kind of. People say you're not really a libertarian. Okay, whatever. I'm not. Maybe I'm a little bit. I don't know. So libertarian now is hard right. So just for the Libertarian Party, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, if you're a libertarian, but you guys are hard right because you don't believe in sending foreign aid to all of these countries. How did that become a hard right position? That used to be a progressive left position maybe a generation ago, but now it's a hard right position. I'm baffled. And most Americans, if you talk to them and you phrase it correctly and say, hey, do you think we should send $95 billion to other countries so they can fight wars in our name and kill innocent civilians and allow soldiers to be mowed down by an opposing force, which so far has proven to be either equal or superior to them? Do you think that's a good investment? And by the way, all this money with absolutely no oversight. Most Americans are going to say, what? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? So we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work to do to convince people. And I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. But I'm done. I'm done playing with this whole, yeah, this is good for America. This is not good for America. Anyone who keeps, telling that lie over and over again, that war, inflation, death, these are all good things for America, we're going to be dealing with this for generations, and people better get their head out of their you know what and start voting for different people. Start voting. Vacate the chair. Absolutely vacate the chair. Look, if you're going to give this over to the Democrats anyway, just give it to the Democrats. Let them put their name on the billions and billions, and then maybe people will wake up. But who are you going to vote for? A neocon instead of a neo-lib? Your choices really suck. You know, I wish there were more libertarian-minded people that were running, more like Thomas Massey, right? Great politician. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's bombastic. She's obnoxious. But guess what here? She's 100% right. Vacate the damn chair and let's see if maybe we can stop all of this war spending. But my guess is no matter who is in that chair, they're going to succumb to the military industrial complex. We need a whole new Congress, or we need to fight this at the grassroots somehow. And if anyone has any ideas how to do that, let me know. All right. Thanks for watching. Again, the channel, Politically Homeless. I'm Dave. Thanks for tuning in. God bless everyone, and I will see you all fairly soon.